All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rivas.
Present.
Councilmember Green.
Present.
Councilmember Beltran.
Present.
Mayor Meister.
Present. Okay, this is the time for oral communication. This is the opportunity to address the City Council on any matter scheduled for closed session. Unless additional time is authorized by the council, all commentary shall be limited to 3 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to come forward? I'm not seeing anyone. We can move on to closed session. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, we have 7 closed session items tonight. The first one is Government Code Section 54956.8, Conference with Real Property Negotiators, Property APN 253-018-001, Agency Negotiator Richard Tree, Negotiating Parties, City of Porterville and Dr. Wilson Park, under negotiation terms and price. Item number 2, Government Code Section 54957.6, Conference with Labor Negotiator, Agency Negotiator Richard Tree, Employee Organizations, Porterville City Employee Association, Management Confidential Series, Porterville Safety Support Unit, Porterville Police Officer Association, Porterville City Firefighter Association, Fire Officer Series, and all unrepresented management employees. Number 3, Government Code Section 54956.95, Liability Claim, Claimant, Claim filed on behalf of a minor, Agency claimed against, City of Porterville. Item number 4, Government Code Section 54956.95, Liability Claim, Claimant Christian Cruzette, Agency claimed against, City of Porterville. Item number 5, Government Code Section 54956.9D2, Conference with Legal Counsel, Anticipated Litigation, Significant Exposure to Litigation, 3 cases in which facts are yet not known unto potential plaintiffs. Number 6, Government Code Section 54956.9D4, Conference with Legal Counsel, Anticipated Litigation, Initiation of Litigation, 2 cases. And final, number 7, Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Appointment, Employment Title, City Manager.
All right, with that, we'll go back into closed session and reconvene at 5 p.m. Okay, we'll reconvene open session, and report on any reportable action taken in closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. On 2 items, on the claim, item A3, the claim of a minor, motion by Mayor Meister and seconded by Councilmember Rivas, and a 4-0 vote. That claim was rejected and tendered to, will be tendered to Porterville Unified School District. And then with regard to claim A4, claim of Christian Cruzet, on a motion by Councilmember Green, seconded by Councilmember Rivas, and a 4-0 vote, that claim was also denied. And I just wanted to note that Vice Mayor Ed McCurby was absent for those. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll ask all of you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Rivas, and then please remain standing for invocation.
Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this night. We thank you for your love and your mercy for all of us. And I pray, God, you would help us tonight in this meeting, that all of us might communicate in ways that would help us to grow, help us to continue to go forward. And I pray, God, bless our country, for God bless America. In your name, amen.
Amen.
Is there anyone else? Please be seated. Okay, we have one presentation tonight. City Manager.
I've asked Director Sanchez to provide the presentation.
Right, thank you, Mr. Tree. May we have Sergio Esquivel come to the front? Yeah, and then you can. For our August Employee of the Month, it's Sergio Esquivel. He's an engineer inspector 1 for the city of Porterville, engineering and project management department, and he's been making an outstanding impact since joining the city in November of 2021. With a strong work ethic, sharp attention to detail, and a genuine passion for public service, Sergio has consistently demonstrated excellence in his role, quickly becoming a valued member of the team. Born and raised in Lindsay, Sergio graduated from Lindsay High School in 2008. He has deep roots in the community and a strong support system at home. He has been with his high school sweetheart, Kimberly, for 17 years and married her in 2023. Together, they are the proud parents of 3 remarkable children, Marcus, Sergio, and Catalina. Family is at the heart of everything Sergio does, and he enjoys spending time with them, biking, camping, enjoying karaoke nights, and cheering on his children in their various activities. He's also a dedicated San Francisco 49ers fan. Go Niners. Before joining the city, Sergio worked for nearly 8 years as a foreman at a construction company where he managed multiple departments and supervised a team of 30 employees. His role demanded precision, accountability, and high standards, qualities that he seamlessly carried into his current position. This experience laid a strong foundation for his success in public works inspection and project coordination. In his current role, Sergio thrives on collaborating with contractors and engineers to bring infrastructure plans to life. He takes great pride in identifying challenges on job sites, working closely with project managers to develop solutions, and ensuring that projects are completed with quality and safety in mind. His dedication is evident in the meticulous daily inspections, thorough notes, and careful monitoring of every site under his care, ensuring clean and safe conditions for the public each day. Sergio's passion for community improvement and his commitment to excellence make him a standout member of the city team. Looking ahead, he aspires to grow within the department and one day advance to the role of project manager. His dedication, integrity, and enthusiasm for his work continue to make a lasting positive impact on the city of Porterville. Please join me in congratulating the August 2025 Employee of the Month, Sergio Esquivel.
Well, Sergio, do you have any words?
Well, I wrote something small, try to be quick, but
say that I'm deeply humbled by this award here tonight. I'd like to thank my director, Henry Sanchez, for giving me this opportunity. I want to thank my amazing family for believing in me and always being there for me. I love you guys very much. I also want to thank the awesome team that I get to work with each and every day, especially Ricardo, Samante, and Pedro Mendoza. Thank you for the opportunity and guiding me throughout these years, and thank you for taking a chance on me. Finally, I want to thank City Council for the recognition here tonight. I appreciate you all very much.
Sergio, great honor having you here. Congratulations on being the Employee of the Month. Would you give us the honor of taking a picture with us?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
I won't charge for this one.
You want to bring your family up too?
Yeah, bring your family.
That's a great idea.
One of you guys gonna have to put her on your shoulder. Be able to see her.
There, it's just tiny,
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Put her on a chair. There you go. Now she gets to be in the picture.
In front of us. Okay. Thank you.
You got it? You got it all?
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You gotta love seeing that, a family man working for the city and living it up. It's awesome. Great honor, sir. Okay, with that, we'll move on to oral communication. This is the opportunity to address the council on any matter of interest, whether on the agenda or not. Please address all items not scheduled for public hearings at this time unless additional time is authorized by the council. All commentary shall be limited to 3 minutes. If anybody would like to come forward, this is the time.
Good afternoon, council, mayor, vice mayor. First, I want to say to Mr. Green, thank you so much.
Donna, I apologize for stopping you, and I'll give you more time. Could you state your name for the record?
Yeah, I was getting there.
Okay.
Dawn Bennett, 550 Dexter Avenue. Is it, oh, well, it wasn't on. Well, there we go. Now you can hear me. Dawn Bennett, 550 Dexter Avenue here in Porterville. I just wanted to say to Mr. Green, thank you for appointing me to the Charter Committee. I'm really enjoying it, Charter Review Committee. But I did have a few notes from the meeting, the special meeting last week, and then other issues that I would like the council to consider. One is related to roads, and it's Henderson at the new crossing, where the railroad tracks were, and they've done some fill-ins there, but they've sunk quite a bit, and it's making quite a rough ride crossing that area, and it hasn't been repatched. So, and there's no active work going on there. So if somebody could address that, that would be great.
Are you referring to by were hoops?
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm sure you are well aware, but of course, on the Villa project, no lines have been painted yet. So just looking for a date of when that's going to happen. And then on Dexter, where I live, the team has not come back and opened up any of the access holes to any of the water sewer lines in case there's an emergency, and the lines haven't been painted there as well. And listening to the meeting last week, I know this is probably not ideal, but I did have a suggestion, and I'm sure you gentlemen have spoken about this, but I strongly suggest you consider selling the golf course to an outfit that can manage it and help it turn a profit, and then use the proceeds of the sale to go towards the library that we need to rebuild. I also wanted to address the Zoom changes, and I understand the reasoning behind the Zoom changes, but as a person with disabilities, I really find it difficult sometimes to get here, and not being able to express my opinions over Zoom, I can find to be challenging on a personal level. On a more broad spectrum, because there are still ADA improvements that need to be made to the building. You may want to find another avenue for those that are physically or mentally challenged to have easier access to these meetings. There was some problems with the website recently. It's working now, but I couldn't get to the agendas or anything, so I had to reach out to some members, staff members, to get a hold of the agenda for today. But it's up and working now, so hopefully it'll stay that way. I was also wondering if the council would consider adjusting the fees for local small businesses to participate in city events. Instead of $125 for an event that may be 4 or 5 hours, maybe consider reducing that, since it's either not a full day or a full weekend, because it's not just the cost of that, it's also the cost for the temporary permit for food vendors. Another thing to consider is, since we no longer have access to Teapot Dome, could the city please consider creating a transfer station to get some items to another location? That was something that they did in Maine, where I came from.
Thank you, Ms.
And that's
Bennett.
all I have.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, this is the time.
Okay, this is gonna be fun. Because my glasses. Yeah, okay. Hello, my name is Susan Queen, and I own and live 30 acres at 179 East Gibbons Avenue. Gibbons is Porterville's south borderline. My property is on the south side, which is in the county. I am the 5th generation living on the property, and my daughter plans to be the 6th generation. My great uncle was born in my bedroom in 1889. That's just giving you the idea that it's been in the family forever, and it's going to still be in the family. He used to own the property where the college is, and when he sold the land there, for the college to be built in 1952, he moved 3 of the houses that were on that property to his parents' property and put them along the driveway there that led up to his parents' house that he was moving into. The 3 houses had been built about 1915 and were then used for the family or rental income. I moved into one of them in 1970, then moved up the hill to the main house in 1975. We continued to use the houses for family or rent income. Last year, on June 7th, the family across the street burned those 3 houses to the ground, plus a double garage, while playing with fireworks. My renters and their children lost everything that they owned except for the cars with which they escaped in. For the last year, I've been dealing with this nightmare. Replacing those houses with new homes was not a choice I made to improve the property, but something I have to do to get back my rental income. That is what has supported me since my husband died 15 years ago. My insurance has been helpful, but we determined that its best options would be to rebuild with modular homes. They will be set on the foundation, not on wheels. Well, it's set on foundations, not on wheels. I designed ADA compliant homes that I may live in when my daughter moves back, and I wanted something I can live in, and since I'm 76, it won't be that long that I don't know what's going to be happening with me. Both houses are the same, as my daughter's mother-in-law also lives in the area. We've laughed that maybe they could move in and she and I could have the 2 houses later in life. They take the same amount of space that the burnt buildings used. The county has approved the permits for both homes. Now I'm asking the city to also approve them as planned, because the city has denied that. So, anything else? Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Queen. I'm not seeing anyone else. We'll move on to reports. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, we have 7 staff informational reports. I can read them by title only, or staff is prepared to answer any questions should council have any.
Well, bringing it back to the council, is there any questions on any of the reports? We've all had time to look at them. I'd just like to highlight some wins for the city. One is in code enforcement on the homeless encampments. We have completed 85 out of 87 that have been reported, so I think that's something to be bragging about. And then also in the building permit activity for the fourth quarter of this year, or excuse me, 24-25, we saw a 124% increase, which I think is pretty cool. So it's good things to see happening in our local economy. Unfortunately, the commercial side isn't showing the same results, but we'll keep strong and keep going forward. Is there anything else that council would like to address on the reports? Okay, with that, we'll move on to consent calendar. All consent calendar items are considered routine and will be enacted in one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these matters unless a request is made, in which event the item will be removed from the consent calendar. All items removed from the consent calendar for further discussion will be heard at the end of scheduled matters. How would the council like to go forward?
Mayor, I'd like to pull number 3 and number 14
Okay,
for
so
discussion.
okay, we have 3 and 14. Are there any others that would like to be pulled? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Looking for a motion. Okay, I'll make the motion. Consent calendars 1 through 19, excluding 3 and 14.
Sorry, 2, right? Approving item 2 as well? Oh, 1.
I changed it up. The way we've been doing it, that I learned from Martha, I realized that it's a little confusing, and it's a little easier just to say 1 through 19, excluding 3 and 14. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second. We'll call for the vote. Passes 5-0. Okay, moving on to our public hearings. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Apologies on the consent item. We have 3 public hearings. The first item tonight is amendment of the city code, changes to the special speed zone, and I've asked Director Sanchez to provide the report.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Tree. Mayor and members of council, this item before you is a recommendation for a change in speed zone. Under the California Vehicle Code, it establishes prima facie speed limits, which are default limits that apply when no other specific speed limit is posted. Typical example is 25 miles per hour in residential and business areas, school zones, senior centers, and similar. Beyond that, speed limits are set through engineering and traffic survey studies. And based on the 85th percentiles and some judgments beyond that is how we set our speed limits. So this item before you, we've completed a review of Westwood Street from the Tule River to Henderson Avenue. This corridor includes a mix of businesses, a church, a school, and a significant number of residential homes, factors which are likely to increase pedestrian and bicycle activity. These conditions support the need to reduce the posted speed limit that are currently shown. In anticipation of increased vehicle speeds following recent road improvements from Tule River to Olive Avenue, the posted speed limit will be reduced from 40 miles an hour to 35 miles an hour. It's recommended that City Council approve the proposed ordinance, give first reading to the ordinance, and direct the city engineer to make appropriate changes to the posted signs when the ordinance becomes effective.
Thank you, Director Sanchez. We'll open the public hearing at 5:39. If anybody would like to come forward and speak on this? I'm not seeing anyone. We'll close it at 5:39, bringing it back to the council. How would council like to go forward?
I'll make the motion to go with staff recommendations 1 through 3.
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any other discussion? We'll call for the vote. Passes 5-0.
Would you like me to read by title only?
Yes, ma'am.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Porterville amending Chapter 17, Article 15, Section 17 through 15, prima facie speed limits determined on certain streets of the Porterville Municipal Code. Thank you.
Thank you, City Attorney. Moving on to public hearing number 21. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the council, the second public hearing is establishing lighting and landscape maintenance districts and tax assessments for parcels within the Brookside Phase 1 and Phase 2, and I've asked Director Moore to provide the staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Tree. Honorable Mayor, members of the council. New subdivisions within the city are required to petition for the formation of a landscape and lighting maintenance assessment district. The districts are formed to secure funding from parcels within the subdivisions for operational and maintenance expenses of any public lighting and any public landscape areas. The city utilizes the authority governed by the 1972 Landscape and Lighting Assessment Act to create a district for each subdivision. Thereafter, every year, a process must be followed of evaluating maintenance needs and establishing an assessment to be placed upon the tax rolls for every parcel within each district. The attached draft resolution is necessary to initiate the process of creating a new district. The draft resolution orders the formation of the new district, approves the engineer's report, which accompanies this report, and declares the intent to levy and collect tax assessments. Staff's recommendations that the City Council conduct a public hearing to receive public comment on establishing Landscape and Lighting Maintenance District number 58 and adopt the draft resolution approving the engineer's report and assessment method. That concludes staff report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Director Moore. We'll open the public hearing at 5:41. Does anybody want to come forward and give comments on this matter? I'm not seeing anyone. We'll close the public hearing at 5:42. Bringing it back to the council. How does council want to go forward? Are there any questions?
No questions.
I'll motion to proceed with recommendations of 1 and 2.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. If there's no other conversation, we'll call for the vote. Passes 5-0. Okay, moving on. Oh, do you need to read that? No. Okay. Moving on to public hearing number 22. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the council, this is our final public hearing for tonight. It's regarding the ordinance amending Article 6611 of Chapter 21 of the Porterville Municipal Code pertaining to environmental review procedures and preparation of documents by consultants. And I've asked Ms. Calderon to provide staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Tree. Good evening, everyone. At the June 17, 2025 council meeting, the City Council considered the city's current policy codified under Section 611.04 of Series 600, Chapter 21 of the Porterville Municipal Code related to the preparation of environmental review documents by consultants. It currently requires that the City of Porterville prepare environmental documents or technical studies itself, or in an alternative, requires that the city contract with a qualified consultant. The City Council wished to consider those changes that would allow the applicants to select qualified consultants from the city's list of consultants, or alternatively, select a consultant who was not on the city's on-call list, but was otherwise qualified. So additionally, the City Council expressed its desire to streamline and simplify the ordinance by removing language from Section 611.04 and approving the additional flexibilities via policy adopted by resolution. Consequently, sorry, I can't speak tonight. Consequently, attached for the City Council's review and consideration is a draft ordinance that repeals Porterville Municipal Code Section 611.04 and amends the Porterville Municipal Code Section 611.02. The amendments to Section 611.02 and subsection I, adds a subsection I, which sets forth the city's environmental cost recovery provisions, the city's ability to contract with and maintain a list of qualified consultants for use on public and private projects, which was previously set forth in 61104, and a statement that further policies concerning preparation of environmental review documents and procedures for selection of consultants shall be set by policy adopted by City Council resolution. So at the last meeting of July 15, 2025, City Council considered and approved the proposed text amendment to Article 611 of the Development Code, authorized staff to schedule a public hearing and first reading on August 5th, 2025. So pursuant to the California Environmental Quality Act, the environmental coordinator has determined that the proposed amendment is exempt from further environmental review under the CEQA guidelines, Section 15061B3. The amendment will not result in any physical environmental impact. So the recommendation before City Council tonight is that the City Council hold the noticed public hearing and receive public testimony regarding the proposed ordinance, approve the first reading by title only of the ordinance of the City Council of the City of Porterville amending Series 600, Article 611, and the Porterville Development Ordinance, and order the ordinance to print. And that concludes the report. Staff's available for questions.
Thank you, Ms. Calderon. We'll open the public hearing at 5:46. Please come forward if you have any comments on this matter. I'm not seeing anyone. We'll close the public hearing at 5:46. Bringing it back to the council. Does council have any questions for staff? No.
I'll make the motion to go with staff recommendations 1 through 3.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. If there's no other comments, we'll call for the vote. Passes 5-0.
Would you like me to read by title only?
Yes, ma'am.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Porterville amending Article 611 of Chapter 21 Development Code Series 600 concerning environmental review procedures and preparation of environmental documents by consultants. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the second readings. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. We do have 2 second readings, and I asked a city attorney to provide those titles.
So really, we're just looking for, unless there's questions on either one of these, we were just asked for you to approve the second reading, and then I can read by title only.
Okay. All right, so we'll do agenda item number 23, the second reading on ordinance number 1913, amended Series 300, Section 305.10 and Section 305.10 G through F of the Porterville Development Ordinance. Does council have any questions for staff? Not seeing any. I'm looking for a motion.
I motion for staff recommendations.
Okay, we have a first. I'll second. We'll call for the vote. Passes 4-1.
And read by title only, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Porterville amending Series 300 of the Porterville Development Ordinance regarding implementation of sign-specific standards for monument and freestanding signs. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the second reading.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Item number 24 is the second reading regarding ordinance number 1914, amending Article 7 of Chapter 18 of the Porterville Municipal Code Regulation, unsafe and unauthorized camping and storage of personal property. And I've asked Ms. Liu to provide staff report or answer any questions.
Yeah, just if it's already been before you, the first reading, if there's any additional questions, now would be the time, otherwise we're asking for staff recommendation.
Okay, we've led on this. If there's no other, well, I'll just make the motion to go with staff recommendation on the no camping
I'll
ordinance.
second that motion, Mayor.
Okay, so we have a first, a second. Call for the vote. Passes 5-0. Yes, ma'am.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Porterville amending Article 7 of Chapter 18, regulating unsafe and unauthorized camping and storage of personal property, the protection of critical infrastructure, and mitigation of harm to the public, health, safety, and welfare. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to schedule matters. Schedule matters number 3. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. We have 2 scheduled matters tonight. First one is item 3, authorization to purchase master meter 4G radio read parts and meters. Several years ago, the council decided provide direction to staff to start converting the existing water meters into, I call them smart meters. There was initial investment of about $4 million. From that point on an annual basis, staff has requested council's approval to purchase miscellaneous smart meters on an as-needed basis. This year, just like last year, staff is asking for up to $100,000 to purchase miscellaneous smart meters. And for example, it would be like a meter for a particular size that we don't currently have in stock would be an example of a type of purchase. And so it's staff's recommendation that the city council authorize the water utility superintendent to purchase miscellaneous new and replacement master meter radio read water meters and meter registers from Hydro Pro Solutions during the fiscal year 25-26 at a not to exceed amount of $100,000. That's the conclusion of staff's report, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, City Manager. We'll bring it back to the council. Vice Mayor, you pulled this agenda item.
Yeah, I just wanted to get on the record, if I have a question, Mr. Interim City Manager, we had this allocated last year. We had $100,000 allocated last year. Did we use that money last year?
We did not use any of that money last year.
So I wanted to pull this item and say I think we're in good shape here, and I think that I'd like to table this item until such time as it's needed and necessary, and not to allocate that money.
Okay, if we, is that a motion?
I think that was a motion.
Okay. So we have a motion on the table. My thought is just the consequences of doing this, because we'll take the ability for staff's discretion to be able to buy $100,000 worth the 4G water meters or smart meters. What are the consequences?
Well, there is an opportunity, if we were to table this, that staff could proceed with purchasing one or two, keeping under the $5,000 threshold is one option. And if we got into a position where we needed to exceed that threshold, we could just bring an item to council and identify the exact quantities and types that we're requesting to purchase.
So just like that's the way business is done normally.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to get a bulk purchase. I think that was the original desire for staff is to, if there was an opportunity to, and there are long lead times for some of these smart meters, is to.
Do we have a cache of smart meters now? Like just knowing in the field that I work in, you have equipment like this and they have a time life on it. And especially with this smart 4G radio stuff, the technology only gets better. So the longer you sit on something, if you sit on a piece of equipment for 10 years, it's a dinosaur by the time you get to it. Is that happening?
Yes, you are correct. There was an initial purchase of several thousand, I believe enough to replace all the meters. I think we have 17,000 accounts. Since that time, staff has been working hard to replace all of the meters. I think we currently have replaced about 30%. So if you do the math, there's about 70% of those meters still in stock in our warehouse.
Oh, so we already bought a cache for the whole city?
Yeah. Correct.
I know Robert's in the, could you come up and just make sure that we're factual on some of the stuff we're putting out today? And not to undercut you, City Manager, I apologize if I offended you. Go ahead, Robert.
No, we do have the meters in stock. What we're doing is we're replacing about 200 a month. So slowly we're doing that, and we have enough for a few years to, it's going to take a while to get all those meters put in.
Gotcha. So with the $100,000, what does that give you?
Well, it gives us the ability to buy meters in bulk. We don't have to go to council for it. Uncommon sizes and registers, stuff like that, yeah.
Gotcha.
We don't, if it exceeds the $49.99 purchase limit.
Gotcha. If we change the way we do business here, is it going to impact the way, as far as, because I imagine if I mean, changing a meter, going out ahead, but if you had a broken line, that's something you have to go and it's an emergency situation. Do you fall into emergency situations where time is of the matter with these 4G meters?
Depending on what it is, if it's a large size meter where we don't have it in inventory and there's a lead time for that, we may not get it in time and,
But that's something you could bring to the council, and that, if there's that time frame, it's still, within 2 weeks of bringing it to the council, if you did it tomorrow, right?
it's possible, yes.
Okay. I'm just, not to try to pick on you, I appreciate you coming up and giving that. Council, is there any other thoughts or questions?
Just the only question is, do you know roughly what the lead time is for that? For
Meters?
something that's an odd size?
No, I don't.
So it could be,
It's
could go
dependent
from
on
a month
availability
to
from-
6 months? I mean,
Depending on availability and the size of the meter, I don't know.
so this isn't like last year we didn't purchase any, so this is more like earmarked money in case of, versus you are going to spend this money. That's kind of what it is, kind of a.
Yeah, we earmarked it, yeah,
backdrop.
for the purchase, just in the event that we need to.
So if we don't spend this money, is this coming from the general fund or enterprise fund?
Enterprise fund.
Okay, so if we don't spend this money, it basically just goes right back to
Correct.
itself.
Correct.
Well, and you make a great point, Councilman, because being that it's earmarked, it's money that won't be spent, right?
Correct.
So you limit your capability. Now it's only $100,000 and now that's a lot of money, but in the world of the city, it's not.
That's correct.
Well, I'm just thinking of those affected. Let's say, it might be a big deal up here saying, 2 weeks, it'll be fixed. But if you're that business or residence that's out of water for 2 weeks because the council didn't want to allocate funds right now.
Well, I don't think a 4G water meter is going to stop the service of water. That's not the case. You'll have the capabilities. If that's the case and he's having a special order,
Yeah, it's not going to stop the flow of water, but
Yeah.
we have to replace it eventually to get the.
so, but you just said earlier that you have a 70% cache of these water meters in certain sizes. It would just be a specialty meter that you would have to go out and purchase.
That is correct. And then registers, at times registers go bad, so they have to be replaced. It's not all going to be the meter. The meter body is pretty hardy. So, but the registers, at times, they give out and we have to change it, reprogram it, do stuff like that too. Yeah.
Got you. Thank you, Robert. Is there any other questions?
Council, if I may, I just noticed on the staff report, it does say water operating fund, but this is actually out of the water replacement fund, the water reserves fund, which is also in our capital improvement plan that you discussed last week on Tuesday.
Gotcha. Thank you, Jamie.
So real quick on the finance side, does it affect one way or the other if we allocate the money now or if it's requested later? It doesn't really have an effect, right?
Well, it's in the capital improvement plan as a project that was going to happen in 25.
So it's already earmarked
Yes.
already?
Okay. Well, I know there's a motion on the table. It's lacking a second. How does council want to go forward?
I just have one question. In the event, I mean, you can't just necessarily, a city doesn't give you an open PO number to purchase something as an emergency basis? I mean, or do you always have to?
Yeah, there's a process.
I mean, is there, I mean, this is something outside, I'm just curious, because I've dealt with POs and stuff, and I'm just.
There is an emergency procedure that goes through the mayor. So you would have to report to city manager would report to
Okay.
me, and then I would give
That
the.
is
So
correct
it's on the same frame as the state,
Yeah.
then, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to,
Yeah.
thank you for clearing that up.
Okay, so we have a first. We do have a National Night Out, so don't want to spend too much time on this.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a first and a second, and that is to go back to the $5,000
Yes.
ability, and then if there's anything more, they got to bring it to council.
Correct.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. Is there any other discussion?
No, sir.
No? Okay, we'll call for the vote. It passes 4-1. Okay, moving on to schedule matter number 14.
Thank you, Your Honor, and members of the council. This is the final schedule matter for this evening. It's regarding the approval of a community civic event put on by the Porterville Chamber of Commerce titled Redo It Block Party. It will be happening on September 27th. Essentially, the Porterville Chamber of Commerce is requesting approval to hold a Redo It Block Party on Saturday, September 27th at downtown Main Street from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The event will feature food and vendor booths, live music, and a pet parade. As part of the request, the sponsor is requesting the closure of North Main Street from East Putnam Avenue to just north of Grand Avenue, shown in the map that's in the packet. The street closure is requested from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. to allow for them to set up the event, and then also at the end to clean up. An amplified outside amplifier permit has been approved from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's essentially, staff is requesting that the City Council approve the community civic event application submitted by the Porterville Chamber of Commerce to hold the Redo a Block Party event on September 27th, subject to the restriction and requirements contained in the application and agreement, Exhibit A through C, and the outside amplifier permit. That's the conclusion of staff's report, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Tree, and I'll bring it back to the council, and I'll just kind of start with, we want to see civic engagement downtown. This leads to the vision that I think this council has put out forth. We want to see people coming together, driving consumership downtown. It is the heart of our community, so it is an event that I do like, and I support in that aspect. Vice Mayor, you pulled this agenda item. I'll let you take the lead on this.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to make a few comments. I was hoping someone from the chamber would come tonight so I could maybe ask some questions.
We have Scott Bowler in the back.
Hey, Scott. So I just noticed a couple of things. I want to get some clarification. I'm going to be talking about the downtown committee later on after this shortly. In the downtown committee, this came up. Someone was talking about the Redo It committee. What is the Redo It committee?
That's a good question. We all want, all of us, we all want to build up downtown. We want to bring the people downtown, excuse me, I wasn't prepared for this, and make it grow, make it bigger, make it better. Porterville's got some great history downtown, and we want to continue to build it. And that's what the Redo It committee is all about. Bringing people downtown into the stores. We've got events that we're planning that are not closing the streets to get the people walking the sidewalks, to get them in the stores. That's what it's all about.
Okay, and just trying to understand it better because it came up, and I want to continue to have this discussion after tonight. But I know in the downtown committee, we'll probably want to figure out how we can collaborate with the Redo It and the chamber, because we may come up with other committees too. So I have a couple of questions. On the application, there is a vendor list, but it says TBD, so it's not provided.
I believe the chamber sent a list of vendors this afternoon.
Okay, so it's
did you not get that?
All right, so
We haven't seen it yet, but we will if, so you did provide a list of vendors.
If it hasn't been sent, I can make sure it gets sent.
One of the things that I wanted to comment on, and just wanted to, pull this for discussion, and that is that, local is one of the focuses that we have, and just not able to look at that vendor list yet to see how local that is. And I also have some questions about, if we have some local restaurants in that area, are they participating? Are the local businesses also participating in this block party?
We've hit every restaurant on Main Street up to see if they wanted to participate.
Okay, so you invited them all in, and everyone was part of that. Are there going to be, there's a potential conflict if you have a restaurant and a food truck out front. Is there anything like that? Do you guys have a process for that?
In front of a restaurant.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to get some emphasis on local and making sure that we're doing the best we can with this. Do you think that this block party, this is the first one, I understand, right?
This is the first block party that we've planned. We are looking into other activities to bring public downtown. There's a scarecrow, I don't want to give too much out, but there's a thing to bring scarecrows into businesses downtown, to bring people down to look and check things out, and we're planning some fun stuff.
Okay, super. So is it like a monthly, quarterly, annually, or have you guys
do 4 events a year?
They're looking into doing something monthly.
Okay.
Being new, we want to grow and be strong, so maybe, we all may want to do something monthly, but maybe monthly isn't always going to happen, but we want to try and do something monthly.
Now, I just, to add to that, and just for clarification, Julia, maybe you could help, but are you a 501c3 or?
I believe they are with the
They can only
chamber
do
as a
4 events a
nonprofit.
year for civic events, is that correct?
I'll have to double check. I don't know. I don't have the civic event policy in front of me.
I think there's a limit, yeah.
There is I know there's a,
We had talked about it.
Someone
but
that
I
does
don't
know in the
if
back.
We ultimately, yeah.
okay. Yeah, no, I want to see you guys do it. I'm just providing information.
Yeah, and there's differences if they also get, if the city co-sponsors, then I think that that limit is not necessarily there. So there's that aspect. So, and then there are probably a 501, I think it's a C6, which is what most chambers are for whatever it is.
that's
That's
probably
just what's
right.
sticking out of my head, but it's not exactly, it's a nonprofit. It's not-
I think you're right. I remember reading that. I have another question, not to steal your thunder here, Vice Mayor. How many businesses are with Redo It?
We had a meeting last night. I believe, don't quote me on that. Since I can't quote, I can't give an answer to that. I have missed some meetings.
I asked you a question I knew the answer to. I've heard there's 30 businesses.
That's the
in
number. That's
Redo
the
It,
number that
so-
was in my head, but I didn't want to give a high number and it actually be lower. So
Okay,
that's the
well,
number
that's
that
what I was told today by a downtown business owner that I trust. And so I thought that was an interesting number. And that's a good thing to hear, that businesses are coming together downtown and trying to collaborate. And just echoing what you already said, Vice Mayor, would love to see the collaboration of the downtown committee and this Redo It committee. I think if we team up, you have a right hand and a left hand going forward to tackle some real issues downtown. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Scott, for the information. Just trying to get a little better understanding, and I'll assume that the vendor list is good. I just want to get out there in the open and talk about it, and I'm actually all open to go forward with this, but I wanted to understand a little bit better and then get on the record about how we want to continue to build this and in collaboration with the downtown committee as well. Thank you very much, Scott.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Just a couple. Thank you, Vice Mayor, for pulling it. I actually had it flagged to ask questions as well. So you, Mr. Ballard, you answered a lot of them. I want to be consistent with the issues that I have. The Mud House last year, I believe, was trying to have an event down Main Street, which I don't like shutting down Main Street if we don't need to. So I appreciate that this is later in the day at 3 o'clock. Because I want to be consistent with what I do. If I don't want one event, but I like this is late in the day on a Saturday. So I don't want to be a hypocrite in saying what I want one and not another. I want to support downtown activity. I just don't like Redo It or another organization. It seems like we're going to be shutting down Main Street all the time, and I don't think that's a healthy thing for the community. But I like this is later in the day. I also don't like that there was no vendor list initially with this. I get it's like a month and a half out or almost 2 months out, so I know that'll take time, but for anybody else who puts one of these together, I wish that they have a list at least when it's first submitted, like the Vice Mayor stated, so that way we know these vendors are from the area. They're not from Tulare and Visalia and Exeter versus the local community. But I like the idea you said, and I know where you're talking about the theme of the scarecrows. I think Exeter does something similar. They have like a monthly event, but they don't necessarily close down it's like a theme. The storefronts will all have different items or something, whether it's 4th of July, it's patriotic and stuff. So I think it's really neat to get like a theme going internally with the businesses. So I like that direction. That's really cool to hear. So, but thank you, Vice Mayor, for pulling it, and I guess, again, just disclosing all the other information.
Yeah, and if I could just finally comment on what you said, Councilman Beltran, I really think that maybe we could get to a saturation percentage, maybe a target for local, maybe it's 90-10 or something, because there's probably some businesses or somebody that we could bring in that we don't represent, but we want to focus on local, and so we want to build everybody up. And if we can collaborate with other cities, like this example with Exeter, I think that's a good thing, and so I want to go on the record with that too. And I appreciate all those comments. I think they're spot on. I think we may end up, though, and I'm actually have a different point of view on closing down Main Street. If it becomes something that brings people down, I'm going to be all for it to do it even more. But it has to produce the results. So I love your comments about let's start out slow, let's build up, let's get results. I think that's a very pragmatic, good practical approach. Thank you very much, Scott. I'm going to be making motions to go forward with this.
Before we get a second, I'd just like to give a comment on the 90-10%. I've actually put some thought into this, and I think that we open it up to everyone, but if people come forward and they ask for a section of Main Street to be closed, I think that there should be within the civic engagement policy that they have to go and talk to the business fronts in that section that's going to be closed, and they get the first opportunity to be part of the event. Even if it's one of the cannabis clubs, Haven does one every year, they want to close down a certain section, well, they need to go and talk to those business fronts and give them an opportunity to be a part of the civic event first, then open it up to outsiders. That would be my idea on going forward with that. And ultimately, I think this council has changed in the sense we want to support consumership and people coming together downtown and revive the heart of our city. That's where we want to go, and that's a different direction than the past council. So I leave that. We have a first. I will second. Is there any other discussion? I'm not seeing any. We'll call for the vote. Passes 5-0. Before we move on to the AB 1234 reports, I want to say to Robert Alvarez, thank you for coming up and speaking on the hot mic there. I appreciate that. You did a great job. Okay, moving on to 1234 reports. Tulare County Task Force on Homeless met July 16. Councilman Rivas.
I have no updates on that, sir. It was canceled during that time.
Oh, it's not marked down in that fashion. Okay. Tulare County Association of Governments was canceled. Tulare County Economic Development was canceled. Downtown Porterville Committee, Vice Mayor.
Okay. We had a great meeting. It was our first meeting. We wanted to start a little bit sooner, but we started when we started. We got a good round robin with folks that are represented really well. I think we made some good choices on that committee. The first meeting that we had was really about vision, and people can go and check it out on YouTube. We wanted to get to know each other and begin the conversation. The beginning conversation really centered around downtown, of course, but we also talked about how the things that we do downtown could affect, some of the decisions that we make could affect other decisions in the city. So we want to make sure we keep an open mind too, also with the redo it, because that came up in the conversation, because we aren't going to have there won't be a monopoly on everything that goes on downtown, because there are a lot of things going on, so we have to figure out how we're collaborative. But we had a lot of great input, and we may actually create a subcommittee potentially, but we want to look at the boundaries of downtown. We want to define what those boundaries are, and we want to talk about things like parking, handicap parking. It comes up a lot. In the past, it isn't probably well known today, but in the past, and the discussion was about how a lot of people would park behind Main Street, and the people that own the businesses would also park behind, so more people can be out front. It's an interesting thing. It's like parking at a big retail establishment. If you went to the supermarket, if you're parking a little bit farther out, it's about the same as parking behind a business. It's not that far to walk in most places. There's a lot of parking behind Main Street. But we had some ideas and discussions around how we might incentivize this so that people that are visiting downtown get the front spaces, and people that are working downtown will use the spaces in the back. And, you know, we don't want to put up parking meters and things like that, but the discussion went in a lot of different directions, but parking was a big one, and we want to set expectations for downtown so that the people that visit downtown get those parking spaces up front best and first, and of course a priority for the ADA. And one of the discussions items was these smaller spaces that we made could have been used for ADA, but you can go back and look at that conversation. We'll continue to have that conversation and come up with some solutions for parking. Maybe there's a 2-hour parking limit. Maybe we can do a parking pass. Maybe the parking pass is connected to some discounts to downtown, things like that to provide some incentives so that the parking flows and doesn't become cumbersome. We also talked about this alliance with the Redo It Committee and the Chamber, And we want to have some more discussion about downtown. So we have some members of the committee that have commercial real estate background. We want to talk about those locations that are not owned by local people and talk about what fees might be associated with that. We're still having that discussion, but it's a hurdle, and we have to, understand better what we're dealing with before we can go forward. There was some discussion, there were some commercial real estate that has lowered their rates and trying to incentivize some people to use those, and they're not being used. So that's a good trend, because now we have some commercial real estate that's becoming available, but it's not being used yet. But I think that's the start, like we were talking about the business at the beginning, the growth in a number of permits, but it's not for commercial yet. But we're seeing some there, some signs of life there. So I think that we'll continue down that road as we go further with the committee. It was a great first meeting. We look forward to having a little bit more meat in the next meeting, and we talked about how the downtown, really, and the vision of the downtown committee is to create more of a destination. So the idea, and to continue to get it out in front of the public, is that if there are things that connect us to downtown and then connect us back out to other parts of the community, and so it's part of the process, and so we get more circulation. So if someone comes, for example, the big example is if they come for the Mighty 190 to visit the Parkway, then they come downtown. Someone comes downtown and they visit the Parkway, the casino, a sports. Anyway, trying to make those connections, even with the museum, to have some downtown walks with history and have some things that we do in collaboration to promote our small businesses, but promote the history of our community and the people in our community, so that we make that something that is a place that we want to go, a place that we spend some time, and then hopefully it will evolve and continue to grow to where we may have some downtown entertainment and maybe some more nightlife, like this block party that's coming up in September. So really encouraged by that, and we got off to a good start. So I just wanted to say thanks to everybody on that committee, and I look forward to continuing to lead those discussions.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilman Green, you got any comments on it, or did you cover it?
He did a very good job.
I thought so.
I would just like to say, though, I did sense we had some good people, as Ed said. I think we've got a good cadre of brains in there, but I think there's a lot of enthusiasm. I think that's the first thing I noticed. Everybody's jacked up about trying to get this thing done. So, good job, Ed.
All right. Okay, we'll move on to the Porterville Municipal Airport Committee, met July 30th. Councilman Rivas, you want to take the lead on this?
Yes. Yes, on 7/30 of 25 at 1100 hours, the Porterville Municipal Airport Committee was held for its first official meeting here at City Hall at the J. Coleman Conference Room. We had a call to order. At that point, roll call was taken. The attendees were, the committee members were Mr. Donaghy, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Hadaway, Mr. Quadaker, Mrs. Groves, Mrs. Raya, Airport Manager, Mr. Berrigan, I believe, myself, Mr. Green, and also City Clerk Fernando. After the introduction at the meeting was that we had oral communications. We discussed on some scheduled matters, which were very forthcoming. During the introduction, a few things were discussed, which was the lighting issues, runways, permits, the insurances of the hangars, the helipad helicopters next to the certain area. Was of concern. Fuel notifications. What was that AKA called, that they called when pilots needed to know about the fuel?
A NOTAM.
A NOTAM, yes, sir. Thank you. And with that, so in light of all that, the concerns were discussed, and they were answered in a timely manner. Those that were not were asked by myself and Mr. Green to get further information from Mr. Fernando so we can discuss it on the next meeting. During that time, we made a motion to schedule when we would have our meetings, and we're I think myself and Mr. Green second that motion, and we voted on it that on the second of every Wednesday at 16:30 hours, we would be having our meetings here at City Hall at the J. Coleman without any interruptions. So with that, that was approved. In light of all that, the committee's concerns were met, our goals were met, the objectives of the PAC, I call it the Porterville Aviation Council, but it's called PMA, I'm sorry. The objectives were met.
Second Wednesday.
So with that, towards the end of the meeting, I think we had a really good dialogue. We had openness, and we all greeted each other with sincerity, and we look forward to more meetings like that. In addition, Mr. Donachie provided us in the end of the meeting that the Porterville Military Academy purchased 2 hangars for the purpose of education for future pilots.
Cadets.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, their cadet program.
Yeah, the cadet program, yes, sir. And I asked Mr. Donachie to provide me some information on that. So bear with me, I'm not going to take too long, because I know we have another agenda in a little while. So with that, he sent me this academic highlights, which include positive trend data on the state education dashboard. And with this academy, it offers AP Spanish, English, and math to go along with the dual enrollment with the Porterville College. Highlights from last year's included first place trophies at state level competition for rifle marksmanship, drill, and individual cadet performance. The vision of this program is going to produce 3 private pilots, 5 student aircraft solos so far. The PMA Aviation Senior over the last 2 years have had opportunities for fly gliders. Nearly all aviation cadets have also had the opportunity to fly locally with EEA chapters 1547 pilots. And with that, it also comes with future classes, which will, core values are their civic responsibility, leadership by example, academic excellence, and well-being. Aviation program will be remote pilot licensing, FFA ground schools. So with this program, I'm glad I'm part of this program, because we're bringing to light what this committee is for, and it's grassroots. And I told them, well, I didn't tell them, I informed them that, you know what, this is your program. Let's not lose it, and let's stay focused with that. So with that, you know, they were all very well ecstatic about the committee being formed by the council, and they are willing to go beyond and overboard for making this go through fruition. So with that, Mr. Green, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, not necessarily, other than kind of what I did behind Ed there, is that was a good group of people. I think we've got some good folks there, and they brought up some things about, people are familiar with the red tails, to have some destination things going on at the airport. That's a group that they fly old Soviet-style aircraft from, I believe, World War II through maybe the Korean War era, and they come in. We talked about even trying to rejuvenate the old moonlight fly-in out at the airport. Because I know, I can remember when I was a kid, my mom and dad and a lot of their friends, they went out there and had a great time. So there's a lot of good things. I mean, we're just getting started. The wheels are churning, and I'm looking forward to having a good time with that committee and getting some things done.
Yes, sir.
AJ, thank you.
No, it's exciting stuff. It's a new committee, and the airport is an unpolished jewel, so you guys have great opportunity. Okay, with that, we'll move on to oral communication. This is an opportunity to address the council on any matter of interest, whether on the agenda or not. Please address all items not scheduled for public hearing at this time unless any additional time is authorized by the council. All commentaries shall be limited to 3 minutes.
I just had one more thing to add, gentlemen. Dawn Bennett, address on record. In doing the quick math, as I am a numbers person, if the city is doing 200 meters per month, that's 2,400 meters per year, which is going to take the city 17 and a half years to finish putting in all the meters. So to put it bluntly, that's entirely too long. So I hope the city reconsiders some way within that department to make that happen faster. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Are there any other comments? I think that highlights the reason why we shouldn't buy the meters, right? Okay, we'll move on to other matters. It's right in front of me. Okay, Councilman Beltran.
The reason behind the meters is maybe a little more complicated than people want to. It's a time saving and cost saving for personnel in the long run. Unfortunately, there's a lot more work being done in other areas that pulls personnel from that right now. But if not, there would be a lot more. But that's an issue for directors and council to see if they want to hire more. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. Ms. Bennett, your comment about the YouTube comments and people getting down here, I share the same sentiment. I addressed it when we made that decision. But just so constituents know, they can also email or write a letter to the city manager or to City Hall, and those can be put in public record. Just if there's any comments or something that, if they're not able to physically get down here, that could always be done on their behalf. Schools start next week, and we won't have another meeting, so I just want to remind drivers out there to be patient with each other around the school areas. Right now, if you drive by, it's there's no traffic, but work being done on Westfield and some other areas. Just please be patient, leave time, and please be mindful of buses and students coming and going on bicycles and pedestrians. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Beltran. Councilman Rivas.
I have nothing to add.
Councilman Green.
No, I have nothing, Your Honor.
Vice Mayor McCurvey.
Yeah, thank you very much. The one concern that I had, having a lot of trouble getting out of the area over there in my neck of the woods. The road, Westfield, is closed all the way from Westwood down Westfield, and we're about to open the schools, so not sure what the traffic pattern's going to be. It's already very difficult, and I mentioned that in the last meeting. It's hard to even get under the bridge. I'm starting to see people, cutting over to Morton, but that's going to get worse, so I think it's a good call out. I think that we need to be careful, and I'm not sure what the plan is, but we probably should talk with the school about what we're doing over there, because that could become a critical. Outstanding. Yeah, so you guys are on top of it as usual. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that. I don't know, maybe this is just my bias, but we spent $4 million on digital water meters, and they don't produce any water. I think we should focus our energy on making sure that we get meters on non-metered locations, make sure we get everything on a meter, whether it's digital or not. That would be my preference, but 17 years, maybe it'll take 25, we don't know. But we could have spent $4 million on a library instead of smart meters. That's my comments for tonight.
Okay, I will close it out. So agenda number 5 for the, I believe it was the well fix. I should have wrote that down. But something, it went out to bid, and we've talked about it in the past, and it's just something that I want to re-engage again and just put the messaging out to staff, is we talked about a local preference coming up for a percentage to favor local businesses, and so I just wanted to plant that seed with you all tonight on record. Air conditioner tonight was fabulous. Thank you for whoever got that working correctly. It's nice and cold in here, and I greatly appreciate it. I had the great honor. Director Moore, outstanding, thank you, sir. I had the great honor to ride with the Vice Mayor. He took me in his Jeep, and we went and drove the river this past week. And I gotta say, it's the best it's looked in my adult life. It's just amazing where we are compared to where we were 5 years ago. And I just want to continue to give the vocal support to our police department, to our parks and leisures, to our public works, all city staff. Please continue to deliver on this. It's amazing looking. Our streets are looking great. You are all doing a fantastic job. I saw 3 homeless in the river in city jurisdiction, and that's where a lot of people get lost. They look at county areas and they go, they're there. Well, that's not our jurisdiction. Also, along the highway, that is not our jurisdiction. That is state land. So I want to go on record and putting that out. Staff, you're doing an amazing job on this. Keep the pressure on. We also met with Brian, I'm forgetting his name, with Edison, Brian Thornburg with Edison, and we're talking about revitalizing Main Street, getting the poles painted, possibly putting in new lights. Exciting conversation. They're going to continue on hopefully here soon. And then outstanding job to our fire department, Chief Cogburn. What a great event with the ribbon cutting. I know Jake was really excited to be there and support with the police department. It was kind of exciting to hear the tones and watch firefighters go to action and go fight fire, save lives. That was a lot of fun. But it's exciting to see this state-of-the-art building right here in Porterville, and we're going to see firefighters from around the South San Joaquin Valley come to Porterville and train, and our firefighters are going to be stronger and sharper than ever before because of this tower. It was really neat walking through and just looking at all the dynamics and scenarios that you could throw at firefighters. I mean, they had a dog kennel on the 4th floor. Maybe not a dog kennel, but it looked like it. It's an obstacle course where they're going through, and I thought, man, that's got to be pretty tough. So exciting to see that. Congratulations to our fire department and going forward with that. And then I would like also to just state on record, thank you to the county for bringing the taco tasting trail here to Porterville. Myself, Vice Mayor, Mr. Tree, Claudia Calderon, and other supporting staff all met at Papa's. We had tacos. I'm not going to try to pronounce any of the tacos because I suck. So, no, there's one I can, and that's the Quito taco. And get it in asada Quito taco. It's cheese shell, really good, great atmosphere, great business. We had churros at the end. It was an amazing time, and so thank you to staff in the county for promoting that business. And with that, we get to move on to National Night Out with our Porterville Police Department. Exciting time. Mr. Tree, do you have any closing comments?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Just echo the words. I appreciate staff's work behind the scenes. Thank you for recognizing those results, and we'll continue to be results driven in our as we pursue all of our projects and services that we provide to the city. I just appreciate all staff's effort and looking forward to going cross street and participating in the National Night Out as well.
Yes. All right, with that, the meeting's adjourned at 6:32.